Hi YouTubers, Charlie Tango 1 coming at you here with yet another video, but this one, excuse me, I've got a strep throat, but I did say I would do one right from a strip down of one of these little 8R stoves from start to finish, and I'll rebuild it as well. So without further ado, it's turned up today, so was a fair old wait, but there you go. It's nice clean condition actually. It did say it was. As you can see, it's a nice little, no dirt and all that crud and grease and everything in it. So there we go. That's I've taken the stove out of there. I'll put it over there for now. It's out of the way. So without further ado, I'm going to strip it down now. Let's start on, I'm going to start on this. This is the tank, etc. Now, I did crack it loose. I had to do it in the vise to do it because it weren't going to have any of it. And what I'm going to try and do this time is I've got a jar of petrol here. Well, it's only, I know, not even a third full. So what I'm going to be doing is putting it in an ultrasonic tank and see how it cleans up, rather than putting it in like a form of patio cleaner, which is quite corrosive really. So I'm trying to avoid that. Right, I'm stripping it down. I have found that this here, I don't have to, this is your pressure release valve. It was loose, quite loose actually, and on inspection I took it off. The rubber seems okay on the oh, okay then. Seems okay on the inside of the cap, but when I took this off, cap looks okay, but I've got a little spring there as well. When you look at that little pipet, let's see how close you can get it. I'm assuming that's in focus, I hope so. You can see it's well and truly worn down, and I could tell that because the little shaft here was not sitting level with the cap, so it was down quite a way. Now there's a little spring, I mustn't lose that. Where's my little, where's my little tub of magic? I put everything I stripped down, I put in there. And that, I'm not quite sure what that is. It was in a little bit of polythene, and it was stuck to the lid, wedged between the key and that. So I can only assume that it might be the rubber seal that they use inside the spindle. So we'll get to the bottom of that later anyway, and we'll find out. Well, let's put this in here for now. Keep that out of the way. I can always check this later. Put that in there. That's it. Oh, and yeah, this is something else. This turned up the other day. I got it not for this stove, but there's certain other stoves I've got it for. I got the solid brass one. You can get a cap. These caps, you can buy the pump without the cap if you wish. But you cannot put this pump on one of these that has not got this valve on. Because it works the opposite way. this releases, is sprung loaded, it releases the divot when you pump it to let air into the tank, and then because it's sprung loaded it will go back and block the hole when you pull this back up to pump again. So I thought I'll get that for that other, just for the other stove. Now I've looked at these are not too bad. They've not had a great deal of wear actually. He did say that it's not been used a lot, and I'm inclined to agree with him. It does not look like it's been used a lot. I mean, basically it's just tarnished it, really, so I can live with that. The tin's in good condition, no scratches and dings and all that. This, you can see, this has hardly had any use either. Look, it's not, I don't know if he's cleaned it, he might have done, I don't know, but it's looking pretty clean to me. The heat plate, well, this, in my opinion, this heat shield is not made like the Swedish ones. For a start, it's not tin, it's a metal, whereas the other ones, they're tin and they've been bright electroless nickel plated. This is a metal and it's been electroless nickel plated, but it's a lot thicker. You know, I mean, you can tell it's a lot thicker. These are not so easy to bend, so you know, whereas the other ones you bend just like that. So that's different, which is in my favour really. That bear with me, I've got to blow me snatch. That's my nose to you. Right. Now, in the other shed, I've got my electroless nickel tank, and what I've done is I've put distilled water in it, 2 litres actually, in fact. It's a 6 litre tank, but you can only get 2 litres of water in it. Anyhow, work that one out for yourself. Right, so without further ado, I've taken the tank off. There was a bit of a I've just loosened it, so I'm going to take it off now, and let's see what we got in here, shall we? I've got to take the jet off yet. Well, would you Adam and Eve it? Another bit of what should we call it? I think you know what I'm going to say. Crepe bandage. Well, not going to do a lot, is it? And that there, that bit there on the thread looks like it's a bit of Loctite or something. Oh, that comes out easy as well. Let's have a look at that. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, well, I'm not happy with that. That can come out for a start. Let's just loosen up this little bit of gauze, brass gauze, and I will be putting one of my wicks on there, obviously. So there it is, you just wrapped in a bit of brass gauze. If you can't get it back in, or wrap round there, or you know, anything like that, don't worry too much about it. I've got a couple here, I couldn't get them in, but the wick is more than sufficient. But try and keep hold of this little piece of wire. Okay, there it is there. Bit bent up and straighten up. It's only a bit of brass wire. And all I do is, well, it'll probably fall out of there actually. I'm not going to mess about with it. I'm just going to cut it. So here we go. Let's get that out there. That's that job done. Now I've cut that off. I'm going to throw that. You got a dear little, see it there? It's not an actual loop. It can be separated, so you can open it up, put your wick in, and close it back up. So let me just straighten that up a bit because it's a bit drunk. That's it. That's it, it's a bit straighter now, isn't it? Okay, where are we? There. Right, that can go in a little pot. So, that means I'll give this a good clean up. That can get cleaned as well. Now, some chap that used his ultrasonic cleaner said put petrol in a jar, he says, and then let it do the job. It travels through there apparently because it's little tiny minute bubbles, and because you're putting electric current through it, it's all technical stuff like, but anyway, it's supposed to work. So I'm going to do no more than put these in there. I've got a basket in the ultrasonic, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish these out afterwards, haven't I? I'm going to put them in there along with the bell and the flame spreader. That can go in there also. I'm just going to see if I can crack this, strip this down now. So far it's that's the wrong size. There's a big one. Now this big one, this is also used for the Optimus 99, I think it is, something like that. So I'm going to put this on in the vise because I don't think it's I don't want to chew the end off, so bear with me. I'm still talking, still here. I just believe that's a where are we? That's it, let's get it tight. Oh, that's it. Oh, there we go. God almighty, that was in there. There you go, let's crack that loose now. Oh. Right, let's put that down there. Let's see if we've got a pricker in there. Oh yes, we've got a pricker in there. So let's see how far this pricker goes. Oh. That's it, that's come out, that's pretty clean that, huh? Pretty clean that little pricker. Right, so that's that done and that done. Do you know, look at that jet, I don't know if you can see in there, look. It's not even dirty. So I've got a funny feeling this has not had a lot of use. Now, what I've got to do is get the right spanner, which is not that one. It's this one, 11mm, and crack this. That wasn't mega tight, but the whole lot's coming undone. Okay, don't worry. Oh, it got tight there. Right, that's that done. Let's That's not too bad. Right, now I've got to put this back on to unscrew this out, because they always stick there, and it's by the packing thing inside here. It tends to hold on to the spindle a bit. Now I've got a washer coming out here, I think. Oh, it don't want to move, does it? There's a washer. I think we've got some packing in here, that's why it's not... Oh, it's that rubber, isn't it? Right, little pair of pliers. Just grip the flat bits. There we go. Now that's a bit of rubber. Okay. Let's take it off. Sorry, try and keep it in here. It's shot off. Oh. Yes, that's a spare. That's what that rubber is that I put in that pot. It's a spare one of those. So they're obviously using rubber. I have used... I'm going to trim that little bit of surface off there. I have used, sorry to say, leather, which was one of these first ones that I had, and what they had is just a little bit of flap over here, just tidying that up so that it squashes up evenly then. But the first little stove I actually did get had this had a little rubber, sorry, a little leather washer on it, of which I replaced with a new one. Right, I'm going to put that back on the... No, I'm not going to put it back on the spindle. Now, let's get this out of the way, this crud. Because I've got the other one in there. Now, for some reason, excuse me, let's bring this here so I can, for some reason, this washer, usually they're dished that way. They're usually dished like that, and you put the what's the name in there. Oh, wait a minute, sorry, let's get it right. They're usually dished that way. Then you put your little O-ring seal on, which is usually a graphite thing. You put that on there, and this is usually just a flat washer, this one, which you put on there like that. There you go. So they're that. Let's get them all out so you can see how they work. Okay, that's how they work. Sorry if I'm taking my time on this one. I just want to make sure that you people out there totally understand what it's all about. I'm just going to put a little bit of wire brush on that one, get out of that thread. And the other thing I've noticed, excuse me, is there's not a lot of wear on that those teeth there. The jet, to cover that hole up, doesn't look worn at all, that little needle, so I'm pleased with that. So far so good. So here, let's put that down there, put that back on there, that's it. Now let me just check the jet hole. I can see light through it, so it doesn't look like it's blocked, but I'm going to still put the old pricker through there just in case. And I don't know if I told you, I use a pricker if I'm making another pricker, and because sometimes these wires break, you know, it's such a fine little wire. I mean, that one won't even go through, so obviously I think, although I saw daylight through there, it looks like it's a bit restricted. And it is, because what's happened, talk about the devil and it's sure to happen. Look, it's broke. So what I'm going to do is try and put it in from the other end if I can, but no, it is restricted. So let's just keep going with it. Ooh, Because it's no good doing everything else and then finding that, you know, for some reason you put it all back together, you start to fire it up and it's a coughing and a spitting, and you can't seem to get any sort of flame out of it. That's been a bit stubborn, that one. It doesn't seem to want to go through there. Let's try this pricker then, see what happens there. Oh, it's gone through that one. So obviously that wire is slightly thicker than this pricker needle. Right, so that seems to be all clean now. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's all clean. So that's that job jobbed. Put that back. Now, what else have I got to get out of here? Nothing. But my God, there's some crud in there. Let's just see if I can get some of it out. I don't know what's happened there, but well, there we go. Oh, I see what it is now. Yeah, okay, it's a little bit of the washer, I do believe. Right, that's just a little bit of a can of compressed air, that's all that is. And that there looks absolutely clean down there. But what I don't like is that bit of, well, I don't know what you want to call it, but to me it looks like a Loctite a Fed sealer, but no problem, because the ultrasonic should take that out, and I'm hoping that it's going to clean all this up, because this looks black, and I know it's brass, but it's black. Now all that tells me is, from experience with these, that but they use petrol or benzene, or whatever they want to call it, but I think they call it petrol. We call it petrol, they call it benzene or something. And when they prime it, it's all black and sooty and everything else, like, you know, and that's what it does. It soots up your whole stove. So without further ado, what I'm going to do now, and I should be gone 2 seconds. Oh, I've got a long pointed nose thing here, this might do it. I'll put that in there. Yeah. Turn it over. That's, oh, hang on a minute, I know I've got something to turn that over. Where are we? There you go. That's it. That can go in there as well. That's a spindle. That's the backing nut. That's the jet. Oh, yeah, let's put that in there as well. One little screw. That. Right. Now I'm going to put the hat on that. That doesn't need cleaning. That's probably all right. That. Let's go. It won't be a sec. I'm just going to put this in the ultrasonic tank. Oh, smell of petrol. I don't want to be smelling that all day. And we'll see how we get on. Back in a minute. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, I've got a coughing fit there. Right, that's in that tank. I can put the little tank in there afterwards. So, my next step I need to be looking at is give me a little Dougal mop that I have here. A little Dougal mop. Get one of my little, that's it, pull them out like that. Brilliant little things these are. Oh, get me a pound shop or something. Right, let's get this thing out here. Oh. Now, I'll open this up like I said I'll do. See, you can open it up like that. Where are we? There it is. Open it up like that. Now to me, that's far too long. Right, that's the length you want. Half of that, so I'll tell you how long that is. I've got a stick of inches here, I will measure it. It's coming out 9 inches, okay? So we're going to cut that at 9 inches. Thereabouts. Well, 9 inches, that'll do. Cut that there. Here's another one for later on. That's going to be going up there. I've left that running, what's the time? 15:15. I've left it running for 20 minutes. So now, all we've got to do, I've got to make sure it's all in camera shot every time. Otherwise I'll get carried away. I've taken one strand out. What am I left with? I'm left with 4. Right. Yeah, I'm left with 4 strands there. And then what I'll do is I'll put that in there like that. Just like that. And that should go in there. I've got to see how tight that is really before I do that. So once that what's name's cleaned up, the spindle, I can come back here and do that. So, well, without further ado, where are we? Come here. That's it. I'll see if I can get this pipet in there. Bear with me. Right, there we go. Let's have a look. Oh, that's a funny old size one, isn't it? Let's get that out. We don't want that one in there. There you see, you might be able to see that now. Completely worn. So that's a rubbish bin job. Excuse me. So that is there. Needs to be the next size down, that one. So I'm going to put it there for now. I can measure that. Actually, I can get the 2mm on there. I think aloud, sorry, I do think aloud a lot. What one's this? Yes, this 2mm will go on there fine. So, I'm going to try, where are we? Number 4. No, let's go for, I'm going for a number 5 punch. Because I reckon that won't be far out. So without further ado, I'm going to give that a whack and see if I can get a number 5 in there. It looks a bit small. Right, okay. They never tell you right, what's I've got to see which is a leather, that's a rubber. Let's see if I can get that in there. It is a little bit small. Let's put it over here, it falls out. I don't really want that. Try number 6. What's that, a 5? Let's try number 6. Where's that? A4. What one's that? That's a 4. Oh dear. That's a 5. But the thing is, it's a... So I'm thinking aloud, it's a different 5, that's the trouble. So let's see what we've got with that one. There you go. Here we are, looking for the cup. Now that is better. Yeah, number 5 fits that. Number 5 punch. I'll give you the equivalent in inches if I've got it. 3/16, 5mm. That'll do for that little tiny thing there. Right, so having achieved that, I'll put that back now, that Violodon. Don't want that either, that can go back. Oh, put that down there, that over there, and I have to put things away, otherwise they just get left out. Where's my spring? Oh, that's in here, isn't it? That's it. Give me a little spring. Sorry, a little spring. Violodon cap. Spring on the end. Keep your thumb on it, so you can put your cap on. Now, what should happen, theoretically, he says, excuse me again, is this cap here should come somewhere near level with the spindle. See what I mean? Let's turn it so you can see it. Okay. I'll make sure you can see it. The white paper might help. There we go. Let's and then I'll just give that a bit of a nip. That's better. And then if you want to, you could get hold of something very small like this, put it in the hole. Well, that one won't go, but you can then push it, and you'll see this pin. Push it in there, you'll see this pin lift up. That way you know that it is functioning properly. So, having done that and that, put that back in there, that over there. That goes on the spindle, doesn't it? That's a new one. This one's, there's no wear on this, so I'm going to use this again. This does not look like it's been used, not very much. So I will be using that again. Let me just pop in and see how that spindle's doing. And then I'll bring you back. So sorry it's taking so long. I'm a bugger for making sure I get things right. So without further ado, I'll go and check that now in the other shed. Right, now having done the wick, place that. Let's put this here, something here. I'll bring you back shortly. I'll give the tank a bit of a polish. I'll replace this little pipet in there. I'll clean this up best I can. It's not proper brass. It looks like it, but it ain't. You know, it's zinc and colour passivated. That's what that is. The brass they use over, because this comes from Ukraine. It's a copy. Hence, bright lecherous nickel plate tank. It's probably brass under there, but you don't know until it's worn out. Now, as I said, this spindle, this looks clean. The end piece looks perfect, so there's no problem with that. This piece here was absolutely black, but I can't get it up much more. Look, it's a terrible, you know, and it's all because I've used diesel or petrol, and this is the, although the cap's perfectly, the flame and everything, spreader and the bell is perfectly fine, but I can't get any brighter than that. It just will not come up. That's the only bit it goes bright on, that very bottom piece there, but the rest of it will not polish up. So without further ado, I've had to settle for that. Oh, bear with me, I've got to blow my snatch again. That's my nose. Bear with me, this strep throat has really knocked me back, because I meant to do my leather work as well, and when you've got a headache and your eyes keep running, your nose keeps running, it's a little bit hard to follow. So I'm going to put this spindle on here, and this is the one that's, believe it or not, this little washer here is dished. Now let's put it on. It's dished that way. Alright, so then we can put this rubber on there, like so, and then we can put the other one on there, which doesn't look like it's dished. It looks like it's just an ordinary flat brass washer. There we have it, see. Excuse me. So there we go, that's those two. Oh dear, coughing up a gold watch soon. Oh, let's come off. Put that back on. Now I'm going to screw this. I've already put the wick in here, but what you might want to do is that's where the metal piece, the wire, comes to the end. But when you push it in there, when you push this in, if you look down this hole here, I'll get the torch, but I don't know if you can see it. Let's just mess about this in the hope that you can see it. You can see the seating at the bottom where the valve will sit. Well, if you push this wick in too far, you will obstruct that seating for that valve. So when you pushed it in, you can feel it's all the way home. You just pull it out a dear little bit, just screw it out a little bit, so you can't see the end of the wick in that seating down there. Otherwise you're not going to get this, piece here to seat down into that seating. Right, so without further ado, I'm going to screw this one in here, like so, and you can see the rubber and that's going in there as well. Right, now that won't seem to go no further, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, yeah, there you go, that's all the way in. Then what you do is you just push that down a bit. And gently, just so you can get your stop bolt on, which is this. Right, your locking bolt. Put that on there, and it should go. If you keep pushing, it will go. There we go. It's taken hold. That's it. Now, where's my spanner? It's this one, I think. We will screw that in. Not mega tight, but tight. So it's just, now I've done that so it's tight. Let's just see if this, yes, that spindle undoes alright. But bear in mind, you might have to nip this little nut up when you come to fire it up. If you get a dear little yellow flame come out of here or out of here, or nearly out of here or out of here, then you just nip it up a little bit more. And you could do that while the stove is running, because you can see it coming out, and you can see when you've tightened it that enough to stop it coming out. Right, so now I'm going to put the bowl on. See how that goes. Where's my screw? And I always find these fiddly, these little things. Oh. See what I mean? Get it in there. You've only got to get a thread, one thread on there, like so. Get your screwdriver. So where my other one's gone? It seems to have disappeared. Now, you shouldn't get any, you shouldn't get any mess coming out of that little, where it's joined up there. But if you do, it's no great problem. You just take the, I keep forgetting half the names, the priming bowl, just take it off and put a dear little fibre washer in there. And that should cure that. Right, let's put that spanner back. Now we're going to go on to the jet. I've checked that. As I said, it's nice and clean in there. Now to do that, I've turned this off. Can we see what we're doing here? Yeah. That's it, that's off. I'll leave it on the spindle. Now I'm going to put the dog teeth in, which is the quicker. Now let's get it up close just so you can see. You can see the angle of, I think. No, you can't. You can see little teeth on there, I think. And they got to go that way as well. Teeth marry up with the teeth on this side, and just put the teeth the same side. Now what I use is a pencil with a rubber on the end, and I push that down there all the way, and then I just open this. If you're pushing down, you can hear it. One, two, and I think that was three. Right, oh, up there. Obviously it wasn't three, was it? Take it back out, put it back up, put it back down. 1, 2, 3. Oh, why is that not doing that then? It should be gripping it. So another go then. It's such a fiddly little thing. One, two, oh, cramping my fingers now. Oh. Just checking. Some people go 4, some go 5, but but I find that I usually go about 3. Is that going on? Yeah, that's going on. So when I've got this done up, I'll sew. I mean that was tight in there anyway, but I don't like to do them over tighten them. Oh, what shit we've got there now. There. There's not much movement on that. Yeah, there's not much movement on this spindle, which I don't like. So I'll take the jet out. Like so. And that's a long way down, that is, so let's bring it back up. Take it back out again. Right. Now I'm going to go down 2 this time because didn't seem to be much there. Oh. whack it. Oh, sorry. I bent the bloody needle now. Sorry about that. Bent the needle and pricked straight into my thumb, and I've got cramp in this finger. So it's not helping matters. Let's see if I can do it that way. Or another way. Loosen that off. So that's it. So bit high, isn't it? Right, let's see what that does. Oh dear. Right, so come on, that's it, it should be tight enough. Nip this one back up again. That's it, so I can still undo it. No. 1 too many. Yeah, it was about 4. 4 clicks that was. Well, it's too many, isn't it? Oh, dear. Sorry about this, people. Get there in the end, but you can see this is what you're up against sometimes. Little things like this. It doesn't all go, you know, as rosy as you like. Oh, well, what I've done is I've mullered the needle now, so I can't use that needle. But if I recall, I've got another needle in here somewhere. Where is it? Not in this one. Oh dear. Bits and pieces, spares and all sorts here, look. I want them. So. No. Well, I thought I had one, obviously not. Right, put that lot away later. Let's just concentrate. You can get these spare ones in China, about £6 each. They're not cheap, which I found out. So now I'm going to have to go without that pricker now because I've just mullered it. So it's not the end of the world. No, not got that there either. No, it's not the end of the world. I thought I did have another short one, but obviously I haven't. Just blow my nose. So we're going to have to go without that. Sorry about that, folks, but usually it's a couple of clicks up and away you go, but that one's bent right over and I can't see me straightening that up. Where is it? There. When I pushed it up, it pushed up against the top of the jet and squashed it over. So there we go. It's not much to take, you know, just to get the, you can take the bell off. Take this bell off and you can just put the pricker in it. It's simple as that. It's not a, you know, one of these prickers. You can get them anyway. You get these prickers on eBay. Or you can make one up out of a wire brush. So we've got to do, get one a wire brush and let's tighten this up. That's it, that's that tight. That's that there. That. Oh, yeah, there we go. Right, now, putting the wick in the tank. Not a problem. He says. What I try to do, it so I don't get the oh dear, where are we? So the wick doesn't end up taking the weight of the burner. You think, well, what's he mean by that? Well, the simple reason is get it in with a screwdriver or something. Is you let the weight go down like that, it's going to pull this. Well, it's going to pull that out of the bloody tube, which we don't want to do. So just keep twisting it round till it goes in. And like so, he says. See, there we go. Twiddle that round there like that. Round there, and it's going to go one more. You don't have to over tighten these because this thread here is a tapered thread, which means well, you know what a tapered thread is. It goes out towards the nut, it starts getting it wider and wider, and then what happens is it gets tight and that creates a seal as well. So you can do that by, let's get this right as well. Now I'm going to try that. Where are we? Not too much. Now you want that in line with that. Right, do you understand? This and this wants to be in line. That wants to be in line with the tank. So you've got that. Okay. I think that should be fair enough for you. Right, you can see it's roughly in line there. That spindle is in line with this divot on the top of the tank. That's where you want to be. Right, he says. Let's have a go at putting the bell on now. Don't over tighten these because they're very fine thread, and it doesn't take much to strip the thread. So just be careful when you put that on. As soon as it gets a bit tight, you know, that's it. Call it a day. Oh dear. So now, having done that, now I've got the little, I'll put that on in a minute. Let's get the stove up and in here and somewhere near running maybe. Put it up here where you can see it. It's the old idea of it, wasn't it? So that sits in there nice. Yeah, that can come down a bit actually. That's it. Oops, what's happened here? That's it. Get that in there. I've had to bend these in a bit because it was a little bit slack. Let's see what it does now. That's it, goes in there now. That's lovely. Put the wind cover on the windshield on. Lovely. That's that job jobbed. Open it out like this. Put these on in a minute. And I'll tighten that nut up, I don't know. I don't think I did actually, come to think of it, so let's do it while it's in my head. No, I didn't. There we go, I'll leave that spanner out just in case. Right, okay. Don't leave these on your stove. Even the long handled ones get hot. I mean, one of them I have seen and it's melted this plastic, so be warned. So I'll just put it in there to one side, and here goes nothing. So without further ado, take the cap off. Now, for those people that don't know, you've all seen these, haven't you? Where are they? Excuse me. Dobbers, yeah? For when you die and stuff like that. When you're finished with it, cut the end off. Then you're left with that, ain't you? Now that goes in that little hole there. Right, there's two sizes of these, and this is not the size for this. But you push it in there and you can check to see if this release valve opens up. Another one in here somewhere, I don't know where that is. But that's not that one. But that's what they do. Right, now, let's get some. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this. It's Coleman's fuel I use, which is this. I think I've shown you every time. Coleman fuel, that's what I use. You get it in all camping shops and that sort of stuff. And I sometimes take these little bottles because you can just get them in the corner of this thing when it's closed, if you're lucky. Right, let's put a little horse name on there. Now, just in case. just haven't filled that up now. So what we're now going to go and do is I'll put some meths in the bowl. There we go. Let's ignite it. See what we've got there. Yeah, it's going. Right, let's have a walk, see how much is in there. That's tight, isn't it? Yeah. Drink me coffee while that's priming. So, yeah, I've cracked up that nut. Clean the jet out. Although it looked clean, but I'll clean it anyway. Oh, look at this. What's going on here? Should we turn one of the lights out? Let's see what's happening there then, shall we? This one. No, we'll put that back on and I'll turn the other one off. I think I might be able to see the flame better that way. Yeah, looks like it, doesn't it? Didn't want a lot of cleaning. At the moment it's just like watching paint dry, isn't it? But I'll just have a slurp of my coffee. So I haven't done all that. As I say, it did polish up nice. This heat shield is, as I said, a lot thicker than the ones on the Swedish stoves. Let's see if we can get this to turn in a minute. It's a bit stiff, but I'll get there. Oh. No, it won't go. Let's put that on there. No, just crack that. Just. I'll better take that off there as well. I'm going to get too hot. I like to do that because it just warms it up a bit. It gives the fuel a chance of vaporising the tube. That was only one fill there. Mind you, it filled the reservoir cup up to the full. But as I've said, I usually do it twice, but that one seems to have done the trick. So let's see where we go from there. Yeah, that seems to be burning quite even, a nice blue flame. Turn the light off and back on for a second so you can see. There we go, nice blue flame. Let's crack it open a little bit more. There we go. I'll open it to its full extent. Which is there really. You're not going to get it any more than that. But I like to let's turn the light on so you can see. Now, I have had some that roar a bit louder than that, but that's quite sufficient to boil a kettle. You know, it's not going to get blown out, is it? So. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And as I say, at a later date, I'll get one of those little, oh dear, making out rod hot. I'll get another one of these later on. And let's turn it off. That's it. I noticed the flame went all the way out. I'll show you again, just for the record. Now, you turn it down quite low, So what I'm going to do is try and turn this so that you can see that flame. Right, now can you see that flame in between that? There you go, there. Now if this shuts completely off, that flame will go out, which it has. So that tells me that that valve is shutting off perfect. So without further ado, I'm pleased with that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bit long-winded, I know, that's me, isn't it? But I just wanted to make sure I covered everything, and I think I have. But that just goes to prove that you don't really need this little thing here. Where are we? You don't really need this little thing here to operate the stove. It will go without it. But on no account really should you use these little pumps. You have to put this on the cap, but that cap don't fit that, so that prevents you from doing that. You shouldn't pump these. There's no need to, because they're self-pressurising. When you think how small that is and the heat that comes from that, it pressurises itself. That's why they've got the heat tank on there. Sorry, the heat shield. So these are the ones you do on the bigger ones, the 88s and or the 99s, them sort of things, you know, where you have a pump on the end here. Well, you might, if it ain't working properly, you can always put it on the top there and do it that way. But I don't like pressurising stuff to that degree when there's heat involved as well. So I'm just going to let this tank cool down now. I'm going to empty the contents. I never store my little stoves with fuel in them, because it does go stale after a while. So there we go. That shows you how that's done. Let's just put that on, see if that still works. It should do. Just goes to show how long it holds the fuel, doesn't it? It's just starting to cool down where it's stopped vaporising it, and that's what made it do that. But yeah, I'm well pleased with that. That boil a kettle of water, a couple of cupfuls of water for you, make a nice cup of rosy lee. Or you can turn it down low and have yourself a chili con carne, or I don't know, corned beef hash or a stew, whatever you want. It can all be cooked on there in a small frying pan. The only other thing I will say, don't get a pan that comes right over here. Try not to cover the tank too much, because again the heat is being deflected back down from the underside of the pan onto the tank. That in itself will heat that tank up more than you really need to heat it up. Hence the reason why the shield's there. But there you go. Horses for courses. Hope you enjoyed the video. Comments and everything else down below if you would. What's the other one? Informative ones is always welcome. Constructive ones are as well. But I don't want the thumbs down, I don't need that, I ain't got time for them people, you know. But if I can help anyone with these, you know, then so be it. And the other thing I did say before, you can stop the video if you wish, because I'm just going to give you my phone number, which is a mobile, which is 077 13 09 0929. You only have to give me a bell. You've got a problem with your stove, I'll do these, I'll repair these and fix them for you, free of charge. Yeah, that's right, free of charge. All I'll charge you for is £4.50, I think it is, to send it back to you. That's all. you just ring me up. I'll give you my name and address. You can send it off to me. I've had quite a few people have sent them to me. Oh Ray, can you fix this for me? It's spluttering, it don't do this. If you overfill these tanks, as soon as you fire it up, it'll splitter and splatter everywhere and you get it spitting fuel out of the jet because you've overfilled it. You only need to half fill these tanks. Any more than that, you're asking for trouble. Right, without further ado, I bid you all farewell. And thanks for coming over to my tube. Bye for now.